right, good afternoon, everybody. Everyone sounds very excited. Welcome to DuePoint. Welcome to everyone around the country who's streamed in on our live stream. My name's Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint, and I'm going to be taking you through our business and the opportunity for the next 45 minutes. Okay, and then you're welcome to ask me any questions afterwards. All right, let's begin. So, like I said, you're here at DuePoint at our head office. DuePoint is actually a division of another business called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. That's their building in the background, their logo. They're based in just down the road from us in Randburg. They were founded in 1952, so they've been around for a very long time. And we're their first direct marketing division. So you're looking at a business that's very reputable, that played a fairly important role in developing the insurance industry in South Africa. The FSP number that we operate under is that one that you see over there, and you'll notice in the foyer above the water cooler we've got all our FSP licenses on display as per regulations. So if you go take a look at those framed pictures, you'll see we've got a long and short-term insurance license, we've got an investment license, and we've also got our FSP license, as well as accreditation with the direct selling and the direct marketing associations. So at this point of the presentation, it's very important because we're going to be proposing a business opportunity, a business partnership, that you trust the business that you're going to be looking at, right? That's obviously a very important step in creating any partnership. We're full house. Okay, good. Just being told that there's many people watching us around the country on the live stream. So that's obviously a very important step, that you trust the business that you're going to be looking at today, and you're welcome to Google us. We're actually listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under another business called Conduit Capital, so feel free to go take a look at those businesses if you need to. The individuals here at DuePoint are these, at least the executives and the management team, are these characters you see on screen at the moment, going from best looking to worst looking. Can you see? From tallest to shortest. You can see what the photographer did. The three individuals on the far left are chartered accountants, registered chartered accountants in South Africa. Brendan Benfield is our senior executive. Very lucky to have him leading this business because he's got so much experience in financial services, particularly in insurance. Their family's been, the Benfields, their family's been entrenched in insurance his entire life. His father's a professor of insurance who taught at Wits for 25 years. His father founded Clientele Life, among a host of other financial service businesses around the world. And Brendan and his brother Stuart followed in their father's footsteps. They went on to found a very successful short-term insurance business down the road called Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD, and we see their advertising all the time. I think they're now the fourth biggest short-term insurer in the country. So this is the pedigree of person that we've got leading the business. Tim Reynolds, also a lot of experience in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group for a number of years where he reported directly to the board of executives there. He heads up our regulatory, our accounting and our auditing aspects here at DuePoint. Stacey supports him in that role. She's got a lot of experience in auditing. She was with Deloitte all her working career, worked here as well as overseas before she joined the team. And then the two good-looking people are non-accountants. Jane, who you noticed is in reception, she's got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling, which is obviously key to our business, because even though we're a financial services-based business, our growth is predicated around the marketing that we employ. And the marketing we employ is direct marketing or referral marketing or network marketing, whatever you want to call it. And Jane's got a lot of experience in that. She actually stems from the UK in Yorkshire. So you'll notice she's got a Yorkshire accent if you speak to her. So her experience is obviously fundamental to our business. And then myself, I've been working in marketing and advertising most of my working career, probably 99% of it. And I started a digital agency in the late 90s, which I ran for 17 years. 18 years before I exited that business and joined the team here at DuePoint. So these are the people that you're going to be dealing with when I say speaking about a partnership with a company. A company is obviously people, right? So it's very important for you to start building some credibility towards, or trust towards, the people that are going to be dealing with you. Our mandate here as staff of DuePoint is to support the people that join this business. So for you, that's another plus, because you want to know that you're collaborating with the people that you're in partnership with, that you have this common goal that you're both working towards. Okay. So while here on a Friday lunchtime, I'm sure we could be doing better things with our time. But the person that invited you here this afternoon probably alluded to some financial opportunity, they might have been fairly blunt with you. They might have said, are you interested in making more money? Right? And I assume everyone says yes. If you say no, you're in the wrong place. Maybe you only came for the free tea and coffee. You're welcome to leave the presentation at this stage. But that is, right, that's what we're interested in, is this entrepreneurial opportunity. And if you know anything about entrepreneurship, you should know that it's fairly hard work to be successful at it. So why would we be here, taking time out of our schedules that we could be having lunch somewhere, thinking about what we're going to be doing this weekend? Instead, we're here, probably with a hope of changing our financial situation. And we kind of discuss a couple of driving factors to why people have this entrepreneurial interest. And unfortunately, most of these driving factors are all negative, right? Because like I said, if employment was the answer to all our problems, then we wouldn't be here, right? Employment would be paying us enough. We'd be getting our raise every year. There would be no talk of retrenchments in the newspaper, no talk about the negative economy. Things would be rosy, and we could know that we would have enough money every month, and we could contribute towards a rich-looking retirement, and that would be great. And we'd have weekends to ourselves, and at 5 o'clock when we went home, we wouldn't have to worry about anything else. But unfortunately, that's not the case. The reality of the situation for most South Africans is that employment is certainly not the answer at the moment. It's not answering any of our issues. It pays the bills, and that's about it. So a couple of the other driving factors are obviously, one, the economy. The economy has great effect on our financial situation. The economy plays out in certain aspects in our life in terms of retrenchment and unemployment, which is disastrous at the moment. We've got over 9 million people sitting at home, able and willing to work, and there's just no work for them. And that's got to be soul-destroying. We've got 800,000 kids coming out of school every year into a workplace where there are no jobs for them. And this is going to be a problem that gets exacerbated year on year. We've got companies in a situation that are trying to survive. They're not thriving in this country. They're not. It's very difficult to find a company that has got great growth. So they're struggling. And when they're struggling, they're certainly not going to give us the raise we need to stay in line with inflation, because inflation is sitting at 8%. And if you haven't gotten an 8% raise every single year for the last 8 years, your salary is actually devalued. We've got interest rates going up. Food inflation is sitting at 11%, which means food is doubling in price every 8 years. And so we've got all these different aspects of the economy playing out directly in our lives. And it's frustrating because we have no control over the economy. Nothing you do is going to change the economy. You can only hope that it's going to change. But I can tell you right now, you're going to be waiting a very long time. But I have hope for you, because you're sitting in this room where you are willing to do something to exercise change in your life, to try to take more control over your income. The other aspect that we look at is debt. Now, debt is a crippling factor when you look at anyone's financial situation, especially in the economy that we find ourselves in, because debt actually becomes this noose around your neck that gets tighter and tighter. Because if your salary is devaluing because you're not getting that 8% increase every year, and you've got a certain amount of debt, and interest rates are going up, the debt's becoming more expensive to maintain, you have less money for the cost of living. So at the end of every month, at the end of every year, you're faced with a decision. You've got to downscale, so you've got to get rid of costs, or you've got to do something else. And this afternoon we're going to be discussing the something else that you can possibly do to remedy your situation. And South Africans, unfortunately, engage in a lot of debt. A lot of debt. We get frightening statistics from the FSB that show us what South Africans do from a personal finance point of view, and it's never good, because we get engaged in all these debt instruments, and there's a plethora of them. They've got credit cards, home loans, car loans, educational loans, hire purchase credit cards, Edgar's cards. You can get, I think, a Woolworths card. You can buy food on credit. You can buy anything on credit, right? And South Africans do this because they have this noose around their necks, and they think that debt is an easy way out, but it isn't. It just pulls you into this debt cycle for longer and longer and longer. And unfortunately, you don't have time on your side, because there's this thing in life called retirement, right? Where you get to a certain age and your boss just says, all right, we're going to stop paying you. You're too old to be of any worth to the business. Isn't it a ridiculous concept? You know, my father works for a Chinese company, a Chinese mining investment firm that's based in China, and my father's 70 years old. He's 71 and he's still working. He's working like a 20-year-old. And the Chinese have got no issue with old people working for them. There's no such thing as retirement in China. Did you know that? Fortunately for my father, because he still needs to work. He hasn't built up enough assets for me to give to me when he dies. So you better start working harder. Right? So we've got this thing called retirement that is getting closer and closer to us. And unfortunately, in an economy like this, some companies even force people into early retirement. Every year, my wife's a labor lawyer. I see it happening. A company, if they are in survival mode, will look at all the old people in the business. Because you know, in this country, you can't just get rid of staff. You can't. There's a lot of labor litigation, labor regulation around labor laws. And if you want to get rid of people, you've got to either go through a retrenchment process or disciplinary hearings, which are very expensive for companies. So they look at all the old people and they go, let's offer all the old people early retirement. Right? We'll offer you a package if you go earlier. So your retirement age can be anywhere from 55 to 60, and very seldom 65 years of age. Right? So this is some data that was on the Fin24 website late last year that Tim sent me. Just to ruin my weekend, and it shows you what responsible retirement planning looks like, right? So this is not to scare you, but I'm hoping that this slide will give you a reality check towards what retirement looks like and perhaps allow you to reflect on your situation at the moment, because I think most South Africans turn a blind eye to this day that is getting closer and closer to them that can have a drastic effect on your lifestyle and your life and your family's life. So we've got 3 columns here. The columns are headed by income figures. So this is an income figure that you'll derive every month if you've invested enough into your retirement savings. So if you invested enough, or at least R1 million into your retirement savings, by the time you retire, you'll get paid out 5,000 rand. The R1 million will pay you out 5,000 rand every month for 30 years, right? And then the R1 million will run out. So that 5,000 rand actually eats into the capital amount. But who can survive on 5,000 rand a month? But now the other side of the question is, who's saving towards R1 million retirement at the moment? Anyone planning to have R1 million in their savings by the time they retire? So you're not going to have the 5,000 rand. You're going to have less than the 5,000 rand. That is scary. Because you know you can't survive on 5,000 rand a month. Your grocery bill is more than that every month. So let's look at this figure. 26,000 rand a month, a lot more dignified. Hopefully the kids are out the house by then. You don't have to feed them. If you can get to the position of having saved 5 million rand as a cash investment, that will pay you out 26,000 rand a month, right? And if you around the age of 20 to 25, you can start saving towards responsible retirement planning. So some companies will do it for you. They'll put a pension fund on the side for you, a pension scheme that they'll contribute automatically into every month. But you have to be aware of how much you're contributing to that, because this slide shows you how much you need to get to derive this income, right? So 5 million rand, if you're around the age of 20 to 25, you can start doing that. You have to be putting away 4,000 rand a month away for the next 40 years without interruption. And the 4,000 rand has to increase in line with inflation. So next year it's got to go up by 7-8%, right? Do you think anyone does this in this country? No one. There's such a small percentage of people that actually get to retirement financially independent. It's like 2%. 2%. So we've got about 30 people in the room. Not even one of us are going to get to retirement financially independent. That's scary. Because what happens when you get to that day? What happens? You go to your kids, and there's studies that show how generational debt cycles jump generation to generation because the parents, can't work anymore. They now depend on the kids. Now the kids have a burden of having their kids as well as their parents that they have to support. We have to break out of the cycle. For your sake, for your children's sake, for generations. Now look up to that gogo and go, that's the gogo that broke out of the debt cycle for our family. And it's not just about doing something to change your situation, it's about educating yourself so that you understand why you need to get out of the situation or how you can get out of the situation. Because that knowledge has got so much power in it. Unfortunately, at school, they don't teach you anything about financial education. Not a thing. When I was at school, English, math, science, Zulu, biology, history, art, what must I do with that? So it's time we start thinking about money differently. So out of all this negativity, the DuePoint system was born. Last year in February, we launched this division out of Constantia, and we have 3 aspirations for our wealth engineers. The first aspiration that we have for you is to see you become debt-free, completely debt-free. The second aspiration is to see you start investing wisely, investing into something that you can look forward to in the long term. That'll change that day of retirement for you. And the third aspiration is to see everyone a little happier. Because that's why you're here. Remember? You arrived here to this presentation with some hope. Some hope that you're going to see something today that's going to give you the opportunity to change your situation. And so that's the answer at the end of it. Because if you become debt-free and you're only investing money into assets, you'll be a happier person. At the end of every month, at the end of every year, especially in January when everyone's depressed because you've spent all your holiday money and you forgot the company paid you early. You're thinking, when am I getting my salary? And you think, oh, they paid me early. So general happiness. Okay. So how does this work? As guests, you've got the opportunity of joining DuePoint. You actually contract with us. And when you contract with us, we call you wealth engineers. And as wealth engineers, we only expect one thing of you, and that is to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. Okay, and I'll show you what a channel of distribution looks like shortly. But the benefit for you is that you get to create additional income stream for you. This is obvious. This is the only way you can pay your debt off faster is if you create this additional income stream. And this is why you're here today. But the nature of the income that you create here at DuePoint is a recurring income. What is a recurring income? It means that the effort that you put into this business in July 2017 doesn't only pay you at the end of this month. It'll pay you again in August, again in September, again in October. There's recurring income. This is something insurance companies create. We call it a book value, right? And the book value is an asset that pays out every month. It's like you buying a house cash, and that house that you own, you rent out, and you get a recurring income in the form of rent on the asset that you have. This is very similar. These channels of distribution that you build will be an asset. The asset will pay you out every single month, regardless of your effort, right? So if you put original effort into 1 month, it can pay you up to 10, 20 years, potentially. You get to harness the power of duplication. Now, this is very important because this is leverage. You here, you're probably employed somewhere else. So the time that you have for this business is limited. We've built the system so that you can take advantage of leverage, which means that you can take advantage of other people contributing into your business. These channels of distribution that you're going to be building are you actually building teams of people. And these people that you've brought into the business will actually collaborate with you and invest time into your business so that your recurring income, your asset, can grow more than just through your own efforts. That's flexi time. This business can be done anytime, right? But don't make the mistake of thinking, oh, let me do this business when I feel like it or when I have spare time. If you really want to be successful at DuePoint, you have to sacrifice time routinely, regularly. It has to be scheduled into your life, and you have to accept it into your life as routine. Because if you don't do that, it's going to be like a New Year's resolution. You get excited by the presentation, you get excited by what we show you, and we are certainly not about hype here. We're about the realistic situation of people in South Africa and how to empower those people to get out of this debt cycle. So don't be taken up by the hype. This is something that is you're just going to have to add it into your life somehow. You have to fit it into your life somehow so that it starts working for you in the long term. There's no startup capital, there's no registration fees, there's no 12 or 24-month contracts here. We don't sign you into anything. It's a very low-risk opportunity that we're talking about. There's no qualifications or experience required. This is financial services. We are regulated by the FSB and the FAIRS Act. Lots of obligation towards that regulation, which is very painful for us. We actually contract you out of any of that obligation, so you don't have to worry about any of that. You get to build an asset. Now, this is very important. This actually flies in the face of employment. Because in employment, what you're doing, what we're all doing, is working for someone else. For 40, 45 years. every year hoping that we get 7-8% increase, hoping that we don't get retrenched. But we contribute our entire lives to somebody else. We've got no profit share, we don't have dividend checks, we've got no say in the business, we've got no equity in the business, yet we'll spend our whole lives there. Right? We've got to take part with regards to the downside of what employment is, but we don't have any upside to employment. What's the upside? It pays bills and that's it, right? If the company starts doing a lot better, do we all get increases? Usually not. The directors get increases. In this business, you have ownership over this asset that you're building. And it's treated as a legal asset. You can put it in a family trust, you can sell it, you can give it to your kids. If you die, you can cede it to your beneficiaries. It has value. So know that the time that you sacrifice into this business is something that you have ownership over. It's not something for somebody else. There's no selling involved here. How many of the guests here this afternoon, their first question to the other person was, what are we selling? What's the products? There's no selling involved here. No selling. We contract you out of selling, right? You're not allowed to sell. You're here to spread word of the opportunity that DuePoint offers. So you're only talking about business opportunity when you go out there and build these channels of distribution. The nature of our products are financial. So it means they're intangible. So again, that's a benefit because it takes away all the issues of tangible products like stock, expiry dates, stock taking up space in your boot, in your house, things like that. Right? We don't have any stock issues. We've got very expensive IT systems that take care of all the product requirements. You can bring 1 million people into this business and we won't blink. We can deal with 1 million people asking for product at once. So we make this business as convenient and as easy as possible to get involved in. And your success is predicated on your ability to go out and build these channels of distribution that I keep talking about. So what does it look like? It begins with you. You're going to go out and tell people about the business opportunity, right? Like you were told. And if they arrive to a presentation like this and they're taken by the opportunity and they decide to take a product with DuePoint, that is how your business, your channel of distribution starts to build successfully. And these people that you bring into the business, right, those are only 5 people that you've personally brought in. They will go out and do the same thing. Okay? This is the cornerstone of referral marketing. This is how Facebook works. Facebook creates a distribution model based on referral marketing. Right? Friends. You've got your friends in Facebook or Twitter. They've got friends, they've got friends, they've got friends. If you do any advertising with Facebook, they will say, look, I can expose you in your advertising to 1 million people. And you go, how do you do that? It's through referral marketing. Right? Very similar to network marketing. This has been around for hundreds of years. So this is what it looks like. Early efforts. How much effort did it take to bring 5 people into the business? This is leverage. Because your business can grow this big, even though you only added 5 people into the business. There's leverage. It's the power of duplication, right? It's you leveraging your little bit of spare time that you're sacrificing into this business. So this is what it looks like. This is our disclaimer slide, because I warn you now, or should I say, I'll forgive you for coming to this presentation. I only forgive you once for coming into this presentation thinking you were invited to one of those schemes. We've heard of these schemes floating around South Africa. Some of you might have been engaged in some of these schemes, right? It kind of illustrates how desperate we are as a society to earn income, where we're willing to just give people money, hoping we're just automatically going to make a 25% return a week on that. There's no such thing as easy money. No such thing. To be successful in anything takes hard work. There's no shortcut. Absolutely no shortcut. If you want to be successful in this, like I said, you have to make DuePoint a routine in your life. You've got to accept it as this thing in your life that will hopefully be well worth it. Well worth it. But at this stage, as guests, you have to take the step of faith. But no, we're a very old financial business that's been around for nearly 70 years. Very reputable individuals, and that's who you're partnering with. Very low risk endeavor. So don't make that mistake of being too short term. We live in a society where everything has to be short term. We want things immediately. There's drive-throughs for everything. Even Nando's has got drive-through. Right? I thought it was only for McDonald's and these other. Now Nando's even got drive-throughs. Even the banks have got drive-throughs. Don't look at your financial position short term. Your debt and your debt cycle is a very short term thing in your life. but retirement is long term. You can make a change to your financial position if you start addressing things long term. Think about where you want to be in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. If you're younger, 30 years before you retire. And make those little slight adjustments, and they make all the difference. So how does the money work? We pay our wealth engineer something called a return at the end of every month. The return is based on how many products you have in your channel. Okay? So we pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel. So remember the first 5 people you introduced to DuePoint? Those people actually lie on your first point. They are 1 point away from you, and on your first point we actually pay you double the R27.50. So we pay you R55 for every product every month. Remember, it's recurring income. It's every month that we pay you that R55 on your first point. On your second point, these are friends of friends, right? 2 points away from you, again, we pay you R55 for every product every month. To the third point, the multiplier drops back to 100%, and you're getting paid R27.50 for every product, and so on and so forth. It grows all the way out to point 8. At point 8, the multiplier drops to 4%, so we're paying you R1.10 for every product this far away from you, and beyond. We don't limit you on how much money you can earn here at DuePoint. We don't limit you on how big your channel can get. Your channel can keep growing. We'll keep paying you beyond point 8, right? Recurring income. We don't limit you on the size of your business. Again, the accountability lies with you. How much time are you going to spend in this business? How long term are you looking at this business? So this is the returns, or the mechanics of the returns. It's fairly straightforward. The next natural question is, well, how much money can I earn after a certain amount of time in this business? Give me an idea, because I don't know how much money people earn in this business, right? So we built this thing called the Path to Success, and it is purely an example that is based on a growth rate. The growth rate is something we call, or growth formula is something we call 3 plus 2. It assumes, as a new wealth engineer, in your first month you can bring 3 people into the business successfully, and then every other month you only have to bring in 2, right? So 3 in your first month, and then 2 every consecutive month thereafter, into perpetuity. And if you can follow that growth formula, these are the numbers that you can expect. So after 6 months you could be earning R2,500 a month. Does that excite you? Do you think this is the wrong presentation? Let me leave now. But let me give you some context, because everyone in this room, 99% of you, have got debt in your life. Okay? So here's someone with debt. They've got a R1 million bond that they've just taken out with a bank. They're going to be paying back the bank about 11,500 Rand every month to repay that bond over the next 20 years. But they joined DuePoint, and with some success after 6 months, they're earning 2,500 Rand. And instead of spending that 2,500 Rand on whatever, they decide that they're going to pay their debt off faster, right? They want to get out of the debt cycle. They listened to Rob on stage. They decided, yes, this is a good idea. Let me pay my debt off faster. So you put the 2,500 Rand as an additional payment into your bond. The net effect of that is that your bond payment, your bond term, instead of being 20 years, you'll now reduce it to 11.5 years. That little 2,500 Rand will nearly halve the term of your bond. Do you know how much money you save? Do you know how much money that little 2,500 Rand a month will save you in terms of repayments? Take a guess. 100,000 Rand? 200,000 Rand? 500,000 Rand? It saves you R1 million. It saves you the full value of the asset. Isn't that crazy? 2,500 Rand will save you R1 million in the long term. R1 million of repayments you don't have to make because you've dropped your bond term to nearly half. That's 6 months away. No one raised their hand when I said, is anyone working towards saving R1 million for retirement? You're 6 months away. But you save it in terms of getting yourself out of debt. Not trying to treat all the debt like you currently are and making more to do who knows what with. After 12 months, you're on 100,000 Rand, in excess of 100,000 Rand in annual recurring income. That would be nice, to give yourself 100,000 Rand extra every year. Right? Your boss didn't give it to you, did he? After 24 months, you could be close to 30,000 Rand a month. Now it doesn't matter how much you earn. You could be earning 250,000 Rand a month. You get an extra 30,000 Rand. That makes a huge difference to anyone's life. After 36 months, you're on nearly 50,000 Rand a month. At the 30-month mark, here's a person with a 5 million Rand bond. If you take that 36,000 Rand and you put it in an additional payment into a 5 million Rand bond, you'll reduce the term from 20 years to less than 7 years. 30 months away. Remember, based on this example, 3 plus 2. You keep going. After 48 months, you're probably close to about 70,000 Rand a month. And after a short 5 years, you could be close to 100,000. About 1 million Rand in annual recurring income that you've created for yourself over and above your salary day job income. At what stage have you empowered yourself where you can walk away from your day job? When do you have the option to tell your boss what you really think about him in that process? Right? In this economy, we don't have that option. Yeah. You can't tell your boss what you think about him. You can't afford it. The job market is so fiercely competitive at the moment that we don't have options. We don't. And this is just 5 years away. Remember, this was based on 3 plus 2. Can you bring a new person into this business every 2 weeks? One person every 2 weeks. It requires that consistency and that persistency. But this is purely academic because this is just an example that the accountants put together. Purely an example. You can be part of that group that I warn you about, the New Year's resolution group, the 0 plus 0 group, the group that gets excited by the prospect, they join, and we don't see them do anything. So you can do less than 3 plus 2, but you can also do more than 3 plus 2. So here's Denzel, and we're lucky enough to have Denzel sitting with us today. So look at what Denzel did. He joined at the end of August last year, right? And within 6 months, his earnings were nearly 2,500 Rand. So Denzel was idling a little bit. No, he wasn't idling. He was doing 3 plus 2, right? 3 plus 2. Good 3 plus 2 tracking will get you 1 million Rand annually after 5 years. In 6 months, he got to the 2,500 Rand. But look what he did in a single month. Look at April 2017 to May 2017. If you go watch his testimony, so we invite a number of our wealth engineers up every month onto the stage to share their stories. Go watch his testimony on YouTube. He admits that he didn't realize the gravity of the opportunity that he had in his hands for a little while. Only at the beginning of the year did he realize what DuePoint could actually mean in his life. And so we used to see Denzel maybe once or twice a week. Last year, now we see him nearly every single day. Right? Only he could have made that decision. I didn't go to Denzel and say, listen, Denzel, I know you're putting in two times a week, but I think you can do more. He decided it for himself. He had to be accountable for what he wanted in life. He doubled his income in 30 days. He gave himself a 100% raise. And what did he do the month after that? Did he have to work twice as hard? Is he going to have to work twice as hard every month to maintain this income? No. He can work the same amount of time that he is currently, and his income will grow. We don't believe this because we all work in employment, and it doesn't matter how hard you work in employment, you get the same salary at the end of the month. Yeah. This is the beauty of running your own business, is that you have some control over your income. Nonkabela from East London, she idled. She actually did nothing for an entire year. An entire year. She joined this business, paid for a product for an entire year, and built nothing. And only per chance, through seeing the success of one of her friends on Facebook who lived in Johannesburg, did she suddenly wake up at the beginning of this year and she said, what is going on at DuePoint? Please show me. And she got stuck in at the beginning of the year. And her income rapidly increased month after month. So has been here for a long time, 25th of July. Firecracker of a lady. Small little lady, owns her own business, runs a nursery school. Softly spoken. You'd think she wasn't made for this type of business, right? We always think, this type of business needs extroverted people, sales people. No. She just puts in the time. but she's tenacious about her consistency and her persistency in this business. She can bring 40 people into the business in a month. And go look at the record books. Our Movers and Shakers email, you'll see her name at the top of the list. But she realized she was bringing in the wrong type of person. Her business would build up and then collapse, and build up and collapse. This business is for resourceful, employed people. All right? We can't be everything to everybody in this business. We can't be. And so only at the beginning of this year did she start building the business properly. And she said to me at the end of last year, I have to start all over again because I'm doing this wrong. And now she's building a more sustainable business. Why is a sustainable business so important? Because you want to, in a few years, be able to go away on leave for 3 months. When you're debt-free, you go on holiday for 3 months, and DuePoint will pay you every single month while you're on holiday. Because you've built an asset that has value that pays you every month. Do you understand? That's the position you want to be in. We've got hundreds of wealth engineers that we pay every single month an income over and above their salary that they've created for themselves. Without us pushing them, they've done it on their own accord. It requires this first step. All of these people were in exactly the same situation as you, sitting in the same seat, wondering, should I do this or shouldn't I do this? Do I have time to do this? You've got to push those objections out the way and believe what you want. What is your goal in this business? Can you think that long term, or are you too worried about the bills at the end of this month? You have to think differently if you want to break out of the cycle. Because I look at my own life, 20 years have flown past. Flown past. It's time to start making changes. I'm 40, I've got another 20 years to retirement. I need to start making changes for the long term. Can't just think things are going to change. Things are going to happen. The economy is going to get better. I'm going to get a promotion. I'll get a bigger salary. So that's the returns. Over and above the returns, we've got something called the XP Rewards Program, right? So the rewards program gives you rewards for the success that you have in this business. So here's the rewards table. If you join this afternoon, you will start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. But if you start engaging in normal wealth engineer behavior, like coming to presentations, bringing guests, logging into the website, doing all these things that we set out for you, which is typical for wealth engineers, you'll get stuff called XP, right? And when you start collecting XP and your channel starts to grow in terms of the products, if you meet those 2 criteria, you'll rank up. So you can get to rank 1 fairly quickly. Within 24 hours, you can get to rank 1 if you really want to. And then you'll become rank 1. At the end of the month, we'll be paying you a return. But through the XP Rewards program, we'll give you an extra 55 Rand to say, well done on getting to rank 1. And then you're going to go for rank 2. And the rewards get bigger and better the higher you rank up in our rewards program. So you see, 50,000 Rand. We give tools to our wealth engineers that help them be more effective in this business. So here's Patrick and Pumi. They got to rank 5 last year. We give all our rank 5s a USB lightning memory stick. It's a beautiful little device that has got all our video collateral on the little device. But it plugs into everything. That little thing can plug into cell phones, tablets, computers, laptops, TVs, Android, Apple, or banana. Plugs into everything. Only the people with bananas are laughing. That little device plugs into everything so that Patrick and Pumi can show the DuePoint opportunity regardless of what device they have around them. Donnie, at rank 7, we give our wealth engineers these premium business cards. They cost us 12,500 Rand if we're printing 2 sets at the same time. A single set will cost you in excess of 20,000 Rand to get manufactured for 1,000 cards. Why do we do that? Because outside of this office, no one has heard of DuePoint. So when you go speak to someone about the opportunity, there's no brand value in DuePoint. But I promise you, if you give them a 20,000 Rand business card, the brand value will suddenly jump up a couple of notches. Because your business card is about 50 times more expensive than the business card they've got in their wallet. They will give you some time to explain what DuePoint's all about. These are tools to help you build your channel of distribution. At rank 9, you get to enjoy an international conference completely paid for by DuePoint. So this is 7 days away to a luxury, and not just any luxury. We're calling top-tier luxury. 5-star resort for 7 days, all expenses paid for you and your family, including business class flights. Not once, every single year. When you get to rank 9 and beyond, you will enjoy this international conference with your family every single year for the rest of your life. So take a look, decide if you want to join us this year, at the end of this year.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sand where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
See these happy folks? They've all reached rank 9 this year already. We've block booked half of that resort out. Go Google Western Turtle Bay, Mauritius. You'll go see where rank 9s are going to at the end of this year. Every single person in this room has got the same opportunity to get there. If you can get excited about rank 1, about 55 Rand, then maybe you can start getting excited about rank 9. Don't get excited about rank 9 if you still rank 0. But if you can get to rank 1, there's nothing that changes. The activity of building your channel is exactly the same at rank 1 that it is at rank 9. And rank 9 is just the beginning. At rank 11, we buy a brand new car for the wealth engineer and give it to them. No debit order at the end of the month. We are serious about getting you to debt-free status. You've got to pay for insurance and petrol. That's it. This is just rank 11. The table went down to rank 20. We've already planned to rank 28 in the XP Rewards program. What do you think happens at rank 28? Cyril Ramaphosa will be your secretary. Rank 28. Guys, you have to start thinking about this long term. Don't get frustrated in the first 3 months. Don't come complain to me in the first 6 months. You have to be in it for the long-term game. Otherwise, you'll get frustrated and you will quit. And you know what they say about quitters. They've got lots to say about quitters. Okay. Another benefit we have for our wealth engineers is something that we do every month called the Wealth Quest. And basically, it's a challenge that we issue to the wealth engineers every month just to keep things creative, I guess. This is called the Quest for Quality this month. It challenges the wealth engineer to finding 2 new wealth engineers that you can qualify, which means you've got to help them get 3 people each of their own so that they can become qualified. And if you have 100% BPQ, in other words, if all the payments on your first and second point go off successfully that month, you will have 5,000 Rand in your hand by the end of next month, plus an additional 2,000 XP. So this is this month's quest. Every month we have a different one with a different reward, more benefit for our wealth engineers. We get asked the question, how does this business model work? Some people, I think, get a little worried that we're spending too much money on our wealth engineers. They don't know how viable or sustainable it is. I'll basically explain the business model to you. That's a traditional business model on the far left there. Traditional companies, or most insurance companies, will engage in traditional forms of media that we all get exposed to constantly. DuePoint doesn't engage in typical forms of marketing. So you won't see a DuePoint logo outside of this building. We don't do any marketing, right? The marketing that we employ are wealth engineers, right? So we get wealth engineers to contract with us to go out and tell people about the business opportunity. And that's how we grow. So instead of spending the billions that the insurance industry spends on client acquisition through marketing, we take that portion of our premium on our products and we pay it to our wealth engineers in the form of returns and rewards. And that's how our business is sustainable from a business model point of view. Okay. We've got 3 products. The products are very different. You're free to look at taking out one product or all 3 products. The first product is called Access Wealth. It is an investment product. Okay, for 299 Rand a month, 100 Rand gets put into a tax-free investment fund in your name. It's not a fixed or notice deposit, so you can draw those funds out at any stage. It takes about 72 hours to administrate. We give you a little bit of insurance with this investment. We give you 110,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. So this is the investment product. Product number 1. Product number 2 is an insurance product only. This is strictly insurance. It's called Wealth Guard. It's 274 Rand a month. And this time you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover with this product. The beauty of our personal accident cover products, because we don't profile you from a risk point of view, that anyone over the age of 18 can take out this product. So you can be 80 years old, you can be diabetic, you can have one leg, you can still take out this product. The premium is the same, the cover is the same. Okay, so that's the insurance product. The third product is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club program. This product aims to save us money on the money we spend every month anyway. Okay, so for 274 Rand a month, you get to enjoy the discounts that we've negotiated with a list of partners that you see there. ShopRite Check is a very popular one. You get 2.5% off your entire trolley at ShopRite Checkers through this program. So there's a host of different partners there. They're available for you to go look on our website. We've got partners that we add to this program all the time. We want to have a considerable list of partners in the long term. We've just signed on a new Wealth Points partner called AlwaysOn. They provide Wi-Fi data to mobile users, right? So they've got about 2,500 and growing Wi-Fi hotspots around the country. And we've negotiated data rates at almost a third of the price for our Wealth Points members. So if you're on the Wealth Points program, you can get this data at the price that you see up here. Phone client service, and they'll be able to show you or tell you how to take advantage of this offer. Okay, I remind you of the support that you get here. If you do become a wealth engineer today, lean into the support. I said our mandate here as staff of DuePoint is to support everybody that joins this business. So don't become a wealth engineer and think you know how to do it or you're going to do it on your own and disappear. You won't last long. Come engage with the business. Get involved. Become passionate about it. Like I said, this has to become part of your life, right? So come introduce yourself. Come speak to us. We've done everything for our wealth engineers to promote them being effective in this business. So we've got a live stream. That live streams out to the entire country with thriving businesses in almost every town in South Africa. And this is our only head office. Right? We do it through the technology that we've employed. You can use the facilities. You can use this meeting room for yourself. We've got boardrooms that you can have meetings in. We've got breakout rooms. We've got free Wi-Fi, free tea and coffee all day. Make yourself at home. Start getting involved in this business. The decision slide. I don't have to make a decision right now, but I'm hoping that you've come to a decision already. For the people that are interested in this business, that see some form of hope, that they're willing to take this little risk and go, well, let's try it. For those people, I'm asking you, please, have already decided, or at least today, in the next 30 minutes, decide how DuePoint is going to fit into your life. Do not be one of those people that become part of the 0+0 club indefinitely, like a New Year's resolution trying to lose weight or to stop smoking. This is not one of these things. We're talking about an opportunity here that will change your life, your retirement. I think people are blind to the reality of what retirement is looking like for most of us. I sat down with my mother-in-law the other day. She doesn't have enough money for retirement. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be paying for you. And she seems to be completely indifferent. You think she's interested in DuePoint? No, she doesn't have time. She's not interested. But when it comes to retirement, it's going to become our burden, right? We're talking about an opportunity here that will change the life of your family. You have to take it that seriously. How are we going to fit into each other's lives? Is DuePoint something that you do every Friday afternoon, every week evening? Is it Saturdays? Is it Sundays? What is it? And this is just the beginning. You aim to get to rank 1 as quickly as possible. You'll be on your way to rank 9. This business will change your life. And then you'll be best friends with Umlungu. Not the worst thing in the world. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, come speak to me afterwards about the business opportunity. We're making joining very easy. You'll see we've got iPads outside. If you've got your own smartphone or tablet, you can jump onto our website, www.duepoint.net, click on the blue apply button. It takes you about 7 minutes, and you'll go through the application form. You choose a product, you'll be a wealth engineer. Just like that. 7 minutes. You can start phoning those first 5 people today. Get to rank 1 by Monday. If you can get to rank 1 by Monday, you phone me and I'm going to shake your hand. Seriously. Make that your goal. Make that your goal. Rank 1 by Monday. Not impossible by any means. We've got merchandise. This is not a profit center for us. These are tools to help you be more effective in this business. The business cards. Please consider getting business cards. If you don't have business cards, even the wealth engineer sitting here, if you don't have business cards, please consider getting them. This business is all about first impressions. You're speaking to people that have never heard about DuePoint before. You might not have the 20,000 Rand business card, but at least have a business card. It shows that you take the business seriously, that you're professional. So consider getting the business cards. All the pricing for the merchandise is on the counter. All the merchandise is on display in the cabinet. This is very useful because the video collateral's on that. So you don't have to use data. You can just give a friend or at your house, plug the USB stick into a TV and show the videos. We've got a YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it. It'll tell you every time we load up a video. We've got all our videos on this YouTube channel. You can go spend months trawling through the videos. Training sessions, interviews, testimonies, everything's on there. If you become a wealth engineer, download the mobile app. It allows you to run this business from the palm of your hand. It reflects what's happening in your channel in real time. So get the app. Guys, and with that, we're done. I thank you for your time. I hope you all have a wonderful Friday afternoon and a better weekend and a rank 1 by Monday and a handshake by me on Monday evening. Thanks so much.